First up, Olympic bashing has become something of an Olympic sport, with everyone piling on. NBC is taking hits over excessive advertising, drawn-out delayed events, long soft features, and even sexism. As an Olympic fan myself, I'm not here to add to the pile, just measuring the stack. NBC dove into the deep end from the get-go when announcer Dan Hicks gave credit to a Hungarian swimmer's coach and husband for her big win.
And there's the guy responsible.
Hicks quickly apologized, but not before Twitter caught fire. Of course, it didn't help that another commentator said the U.S. women's gymnastic team looks like they could be standing at a mall, meaning like teeny boppers, not athletes. Announcer Al Troutwig also insisted on calling Simone Biles' parents her adoptive parents, and even tweeted, "They may be mom and dad, but they are not her parents." Eesh. Then there was this gushing Dana Vollmer feature.
I hadn't really worked out in 2 years. I'd had a baby, no abs to speak of.
Imagine that, a baby and a medal. As for those long, sappy features, NBC marketer John Miller says women, which make up 65% of the Olympic audience, are more interested in the journey, not so much the sport itself. I'll keep that in mind. I guess I could tolerate the cornball features if they didn't pop up in the middle of an event. Same with the incessant commercials. Okay, it wasn't NBC's fault that the Olympic diving pools turned green.
What happened? Well, they're not really saying.
NBC wasn't saying much either. Meanwhile, the ratings have taken a real hit. I could give you the numbers now, but sorry, they're on tape delay. Callie, they pulled you right in with that tape delay, though. You admitted you ended up watching the swimming, which you wouldn't normally have watched.
No, I would never watch the swimming.
But it can be really annoying. And it was really annoying, frankly, on the night of the opening ceremonies, because it got so late that people just stopped watching.
Yeah, that's too bad. Because I hung around for the gymnastics. I really wanted to see that team. And that was it. And I was daggone it. But I will say I was switching back and forth in between because I couldn't watch the other stuff. And I just happened to catch the swimming, which turned out to be actually pretty interesting to watch for many reasons. But that was not my intent. I think they've fallen off too because they've locked down so many things. I heard a really interesting piece this week, and I thought this is true about how they wouldn't allow unapproved gifts from there. So the scene with Michael Phelps doing #1, some people would like to take that and spin it around, and that would be viral, but NBC won't let that. They claim that's their personal video, which it is, but they won't allow other people to share in it.
Might have gotten more eyeballs.
I think they would have, yeah.
Well, you know, when I saw that the ratings for the Olympics were down a lot, I felt like I'm a man ahead of my time because I don't like the Olympics. I don't watch them. One of the things I am impressed at, there had been so much media hype about what a disaster Rio was going to be. It seems to have gone okay. On the other hand,
have you seen the water?
Well, I know. Well, I saw the pool.
Yeah.
Nice and green.
The ocean is bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it hasn't been perfect. They're never perfect, but it certainly hasn't been the disaster that some people had predicted in the media. On the other hand, Twitter has been kind of a disaster zone for a number of news people, and my favorite, and I mean favorite as in not in a good sense, is the San Jose Mercury News put out a tweet that said something along the lines of the two big Olympic swimming winners are Michael Phelps and an African American, referring to Simone Manuel. Yeah, so I've got their apology in front of me. We apologize for an insensitive headline earlier on a story about Simone Manuel and Michael Phelps' medal wins. How do you do that? They
didn't have the name.
They're screaming the name on the air. How can you not get the name?
And really screaming, because some of those swimming announcers are screaming. As I would like to see more sports in the coverage. I mean, when you're watching in prime time, I was watching last night. I was watching for about 5 minutes while Michael Phelps was standing around in a towel, and there was a countdown clock to the next time he got in the pool. It was like in a half hour. He'll be back in the pool. Surely there might be some sporting events happening in that interval. And then it went at some point that night before the gymnastics. It cut to Ryan Seacrest standing on
saw
a
that too.
rooftop,
Yeah.
and then he introduced a clip or the trailer
maybe
for
I
the
had
Star
hit the
Wars
wrong
Rogue
button.
movie. It's like, are there some sports going on in Rio, perhaps?
Yeah,
thought
I
had
agree
hit
with
the
you.
clicker the wrong
Absolutely.
What's he doing there?
Yeah.
You know, well, let me recognize all of that. Still, I love the Olympics.
Me
I
too.
love
I'm
to,
with you,
and I
Tom.
will watch it. And one of the things that I have really seen this year is I happen to be. Don't mean this as a plug, but Xfinity provides the service
Right.
here, and I can get up. Crack of dawn, go to Channel 1 on Xfinity, call up any event that happened and only watch that event. There's always a commercial attached to it. But other than that, you just see the sport itself. And I think when you see that the ratings are down, it's because more and more people are saying, look, I don't want to sit through all of those stories and the heartthrob and overcoming adversity. I just want to see the event itself. And there's a place to find that.
On that
only
cable provider, 'cause I
Only
don't have
5 or
that cable
10% of the
provider.
people
Yeah.
are
But the
doing
marketing
it.
people are
but-
saying the features is what draws people in. You gotta you gotta believe them if they've done the research.
Well, and they really do. That's the model that ABC's Wide
Yeah,
World
yeah,
of
of
Sports
course.
started
Up close
what,
and personal.
40
Right.
years ago. And
Some
you know,
they can
and
be
I
too
do find
long,
that
though.
interesting, particularly
Yeah.
with sports that I've never otherwise
Yeah.
seen. But they do overdo
Yeah.
that.
They do overdo it, and then we can't leave the table without talking about that overt sexism, which even I was like, what? Her husband?
I know, I saw that when it happened.
Her husband?
He
He
takes
wasn't
credit.
in the pool?
And then Katie Ledecky being called the female Michael Phelps.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
And
she
some
had
of them
an
say,
answer for that.
say
Yeah.
that the women swam like men.
yeah. What?
All right.